Okay, hello and welcome back to the Get to Know podcast, the podcast where, as the title suggests, we get to know everyone each and every week. Today we have a very interesting episode. We've got something a little bit different. The guest and his friend are closing in on 100k followers on TikTok, and even cooler, are starting their very own cartoon called The Experience of Kairo and Crate. Philip Lucas, hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm doing great.
Awesome. So before we get into the cartoon and talking everything about that, I've been a little bit interested to sort of talk to everybody about how their lockdown's sort of been. You being from Germany, I guess it's going to be very different from here. So how's sort of the last year been for you?
Okay, so the lockdown. We had, I think, like the most countries, we had two big lockdowns. First lockdown was pretty chill, actually. We had to just stay home. Everybody was playing Warzone or anything like that, or it was just pretty chill. Second lockdown, from what I heard from my friends, and it was pretty bad, but for me especially was actually pretty good because I had a lot of time to work on Kairo and Crate and this kind of stuff. So actually, I'm doing pretty good with the lockdowns so far. COVID in Germany, we have our vaccine now. I think it's doing pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. So you mentioned about the cartoon. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about sort of what is this cartoon that you're trying to create?
Yeah. So um, I had this idea of creating my own cartoon. I'm a big cartoon enthusiast. It was just like a cartoon. We're animating something. It should work not only as like a YouTube show. It should really work as a real cartoon, which we could play on Comedy Central or whatever.
Mm.
And yes, we started this a few months ago. It's doing pretty good, blow up on TikTok. And yeah, pretty much what we're doing.
So, talk about sort of the premise of the show. So, what's kind of the idea about behind the
Mhm.
storyline?
Yeah. Okay. So um, that's kind of hard. We have these four because it's a little bit more. There's like always a simple way to describe it, and also like a harder way. Let's
Mm.
try to keep it simple. So we have four main characters. Two of them are a little bit more important than the others, but four main characters. They are Cairo and Freight, the two protagonists, I would say. And we have LJ and Bob. These guys are in their late teenage years, and they want to live their life at its fullest. They want to get as much fun as possible, doing a lot of shit, doing a lot of party, a lot of getting into a lot of adventures, and yeah. What I would say, maybe let me explain it this way. I don't know how you feel about shows like Stranger Things. I love them.
Mm. Mm.
Um, After these shows, you get like a little bit of a feeling of like, yeah, I want to be in this show. This nostalgic moment, and I love this moment, and I really want to give like an overdose of that in the cartoon. Means I really want that everybody who watches this show watches this and thinks like, yeah, I would love now to, I don't know, make party with Cairo, or hang out with Crate, playing basketball with LJ, and talk about life with Bob. I really want that everybody wants to get to see the show and really wants to. Yeah, I want to be with these guys. I want to be in this show.
Mm.
That's pretty much what the goal is.
Yeah, that sounds like a good concept and sort of a good basis for the show.
Mhm.
So, where did the idea for the show come from? How did that come about?
Okay, so I think it was actually right this moment. I think that was, as I said, a few months ago. I was on a bus ride home from school or something. I just finished. I don't know, maybe Rick and Morty season 4 was coming out at that
Mm.
time, the second half. I think finished it, and I thought like, well, it would be really cool to build up like a creative construct in my head. I think I thought a little bit about like maybe. hold on. Okay, I think I thought a little bit about maybe like lucid dreams, that it would be some kinds of a place where I could always put my mind into and then just imagine like, yeah, okay, I'm with them and I can always decide because it's my fantasy. So I thought it would be pretty cool. I have a good friend, Leo Banner, the co-creator, with me on the show. We are really big Rick and Morty enthusiasts, and we always watch the episodes together. So I thought, like, if I'm doing this with someone, it must be him. And then just started. I just said, I called Leo and said, "Yeah, bro, want to hang around, come over. I have an idea. Would you like to hear it?" And yeah, we just met, and he said, "Yeah, I wanted to do this my whole life," and he was like really excited for it. And then I said, I talked about my plans. Yeah, we could promote it on TikTok and this kind of stuff. And he was like, yeah, I have no idea what TikTok is, but yeah, sounds good. And just was really excited, and we came up with some ideas for episode. It was really really cool. So that's kind of the story behind it.
So you mentioned a little bit just then about your TikTok, because it seems to have really blown up on TikTok.
Yeah.
Did you expect for that kind of reaction?
Well, okay, so I know that TikTok is like has a really cool algorithm. So it is, if people see something they like, and which could be something like this they like, and then the algorithm says, yeah, okay, it could blow up. I had this already. I maybe, by the way, we don't have to go into detail there, but I own a clothing brand for a year now, and there I also made a TikTok which blew a little bit up. And I thought like that got 70K views, which was much. And I didn't thought that I would like get higher than that. And then within like one day, it was our third TikTok which we made. It just got from me and Leo were always like betting, okay, next day how many views will it get? And I was betting like, yeah, okay, next day 3K views. And Leo's like, nah, that's not possible. And I was like, okay. And they woke up next day 400K views. I was like, oh shit, what the hell? What just happened? Just like I really was just like, okay, how do I handle this? And then I called Leo. Leo was, oh no, you're a genius with TikTok and this kind of stuff. And yeah, it was pretty cool. Didn't expect it that for sure. I thought like we had this goal of like, yeah, when we started this all, we thought about like okay, what could we do? Like at which follower account we would go to Netflix or anything. That was our ideal, and we thought like, okay, after 10K. I mean, we were completely blind how much effort is in this kind of project. That is completely unrealistic to go at that young stage to Netflix or whatever. But we thought like, okay, 10K followers, and we could drop like the first episode or something like that. And I really felt like, okay, yeah. After this TikTok blew up, we already had 20K followers after 3 weeks of thinking of this project, and then this came all pretty fast. So yeah, wasn't expecting that at all.
So is sort of the plan to go ahead with it on YouTube, like an episode on YouTube?
Okay, so this is a little bit hard and complex. What we also wasn't expecting was how much time goes into animation. Animation is not only extremely time consuming, also extremely expensive. And so, of course, at the first we thought like, yeah, okay, we'll do this and this, and then we will just hire someone from Fiverr for $20 and we'll do like a full episode. I mean, we know it would be more expensive than $20, but we thought the price we got for like a whole episode to animate were much over 20K, and so we thought like, okay, yeah, that's not possible. So we made like an application round where we let people apply for us as an animator or as an artist or whatever, all kinds of people, and try to work with them. Luckily, we have about two leaders of animation now. These are great. These are from Sweden, I think, and these are animating for us now. But how are we going further? What the point of the question was, is that we want to make like short clips now, about 3 minutes. The first clip is coming out pretty soon, actually, next month. So in March, and we want to make like these short clips. We really take care of the quality, and we don't want to mess it up. We want to get, as I said, it shouldn't be like some YouTube show. It should be like a real cartoon. And yeah, so planned are more animated clips, or like the first animated clip we animated from these 3 minutes about 1.5. And that means that soon we will have the first animated clip, and after that the time will be much smaller. The time, how you say it,
time frame, yeah,
time frame. So we will be much faster. We were really slow. That had multiple reasons, and also, well, we aren't really slow, but it seems to be very slow. So what I actually want to say is that after these clips, we want also to produce like episodes, but this will take a while until we are at the stage. For that, we would consider like an animation studio in Germany, maybe, and go to them and ask them if they want to produce it with us.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. I think the clips on YouTube is a pretty good way forward, especially to just get it out there and things like that. So what does sort of a day-to-day look like for you at the minute with the process of trying to create this cartoon?
What a day looks like?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to over dramatize anything, but it's actually, I had days where it was really hard. So let me explain it a little bit more. After it blew up on TikTok and we had this application around, and we had our first our first team, we had an animator, we had multiple writers and this kind of stuff, but something wasn't just working out. I also don't want to get too much into detail there, but it wasn't working out. And on Christmas, we had a pretty dramatic day, and many people left from the team. You have to imagine, of course, I'm really happy for these people that they volunteered to help with this all, but also it's much work, and many people are just not. They saw this TikTok 15 seconds of one day, and they don't want to like give up their life to work for this. So, and that is completely understandable. But then after our team left, or most of the team left, on Christmas, I called Leo, and we just talked. And then there was a few weeks of waking up at 2 a.m, working all day long until 8 p.m. because we were just working better together in the morning. And this was really hard. We thought like either Kairo Creator is going down because of, if it takes too long, nobody is interested anymore, or it's not like worth it to do it for the small amount of people who would still care. So there was like a really hard time. At the moment, it got better because we did everything. We did the storyboards, we did the we did the voice acting, this kind of stuff. And we're now at the stage where it's just on the animators. So the animators are animating the clip, and when it's finished, we're done with that. We can release the first clip. And so at the moment, it's just more the creative stuff. So writing new scripts and this kind of stuff. So that's basically what I'm doing. We're going to school, and after school, often we're meeting up on Discord, me and Leo, just talking about the cartoon in general, and also writing scripts, thinking about what we could also do for social media and this kind of stuff. And
yeah, sounds good. So I now want to go into a little bit about the cast. So you said about how you had a like process to get these people. So talk to me about the process for getting the cast together and things like that.
Okay, so we made like a Google Forms document. It was like a document where you have to fill out, what am I applying for. We put that in our Instagram bio and also on TikTok. We had then applications. People applied for things like writing, music producing, voice acting, character designers, background designers, other sound editing stuff, editors in general, animators, and this kind of stuff. All kinds of people who wanted to work with us, and we were completely shocked because we had a lot of applications. About, I think, all in all, 800. It was pretty much, and all of them were about 400 for voice acting. So we had to go through 400 like files of voice acting and consider who we taking. That was a really hard process in the beginning. Then we also had writers. We had to like sort out from the beginning when it comes to writing and this kind of stuff, or also voice acting, because it was too much. Many people who applied and then just thought like, okay, then we knew, okay, we would be interested in working with them, but it also is like, okay, these people saw this TikTok once from I don't know, 15 seconds of their day, and now we are messaging them and ask them if they want to work with us. Many people are like, who, and just don't know anymore who we're talking to. So after weeks of finding voice actors and writers and this kind of stuff, voice actors, we had one, Webster Thomas. We heard that was the first ever voice message we heard for the voice actor as LJ, and we directly knew, Webster Thomas is our voice actor. That was pretty good. He's great. Also, I mean, I love all of our voice actors. We have Mark Todwin for Kairo. We have Zach Stewart for Great, and we have Robert Blair for Bob now. That was the last one we hired. These guys are great. I love them really much. They are doing a great job. I think they're really getting their roles, and I'm really happy with our voice actors. But that was a really hard time.
I can imagine, especially with 500 applicants. So this, you may not be able to say anything yet about it, or you might not want to, but is there any sort of stories that you can tell us, like from episodes? Is there anything like that you can tell us?
Okay, so I could give some examples of what kind of episodes would be. I don't want to get like much into detail, because also we don't have like completed scripts. We have some kinds of ideas and this, but I could like talk a little bit about how like such an episode would be built up. So what kind of animation, what kind of episode it would be. So pretty common is A and B plot. So it means they're doing one thing, then other people doing other things. What is really important in our cartoon is that okay, let me explain it this way. We in many series, you have like the conflict potential directly into the main characters. Means, for example, let's take Big Bang. We have Sheldon Cooper and Leonard, and these are living together, and they're completely opposites. So there's the conflict potential. In Kairo and Crate, that's not that much. It's more like these friends, really close, and these are more of against the world. Not against, but these are more the conflict is between the other people and these four friends. That's really important for the feeling I want to create with this nostalgic, I want to be in this show moment. You can also see this, like, for example, Stranger Things, these four kids are just like against, the conflict comes from the outside, I would say. So this is important. And like a show could be something like, okay, so these people, Cairo and Crate, are having the idea. I mean, every boy, I would say, in their teenage years had this idea of creating a business with their friends.
Yeah.
And something like that, like an online business, could be like an episode. They just building up an online store, selling something weird, and getting millionaires in one episode, and then get problems with whatever the mafia, I don't know, and then just getting into all kinds of conflicts, I would say, and then it's just how do they get along with it? And what would be I also could tell is that these episodes are not they are dependent, but not as much as like I don't know, like a real story. It's more, maybe you could compare it to Rick and Morty, where you have like a general backstory, but it's not like that present. It's more like, okay, in the in the background the story takes place, but in the foreground, I don't know, do you say that? I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
sure. Okay, so in the foreground you have like these kids doing all kinds of adventures and whatever. You could also imagine like some hangover vibe episode where they're too drunk and they now have to go to some kind of meeting or I don't know, to school, and they have a really hard exam or whatever, or an episode where they at school and they have to cheat on this exam because they didn't learn, and then they come up with some genius way, all these kind of things. So it's more the story, or like the episodes will be more of stuff you already thought about, but implemented in a cool way, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Is that
that could.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a good process. So, following up with that, I kind of wanted to ask, are you going to be taking any inspiration from sort of your lives or stories you've had for each episode?
Yeah, not too much, but we always have like also from not only like things that happen to us personally, but for example, you see like that TikTok and you think it's funny, or you're not copying, but out of that TikTok you get another idea, and these stuff all influences the show. They all get somewhere their place. Personal stuff. I wouldn't say too much. I wouldn't say that like characters are formed after me or whatever. The characters are completely independent from any personal experiences. They are maybe some kinds of I would say personality traits reflect from me or Leo, but I wouldn't say that these are like complete copies of us.
Hmm.
So, but of course, my biggest inspirations are other cartoons. I love Rick and Morty, South Park, and this kind of stuff. It's not like we will work with dark humor, of course, but also there we know what is funny and what's not. So yeah, I think that the inspiration comes from many places. From I think it comes from many places.
Yeah. All right. So, I want to move a little bit away from the cartoon and just sort of get to know a little bit more about you. So, earlier you spoke about your a clothing brand that you've been doing for a year. So, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so my clothing brand was something I did when I think it was the end of me being 15, I would say. I'm now 17. It's called Lenses, and it was just like a little bit of a project to get to know like some kind of business. It's not like something I wanted to do for money. I didn't make much money of it. It was more like try to do something in that direction, do your own stuff, get some experiences, but it wasn't my dream thing to do, I would say. It was just I think I had a lot of fun with it. I learned a lot, but it's not like what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Oh, fair enough. And you've said it a couple of times now. You love cartoons, so
Hmm.
you've talked about Rick and Morty, South Park. What other kind of things do you watch?
Okay, so I there's like one thing I could talk about which is really interesting, which I also why this guy Steve Hilmberg is one of my favorite cartoon makers, I would say.
Mm.
It's the creator of SpongeBob. I don't like I don't watch too much of these kids shows. Also, even if they are also great, but at SpongeBob, first of all, I was like a huge SpongeBob fan in my childhood. It was pretty extreme. I was like I'm just turning on TV, and if SpongeBob wasn't on TV, I was just okay. Then I go to bed or something like that. I was just no okay. I don't think so. But there were episodes. I remember one in particular, SB129 was it called? These were episodes which where Steve Hillenburg put in his I don't know LSD trip fantasy. They were really fucked up. But these episodes, I rewatched them a couple of times when I was older, and these episodes were the episodes which I remember the most and which are like
Mm.
I had the most nostalgic moment rewatching them, and they were so fucked up. It's completely crazy. Squidward just I don't know dying or anything like that. It's just it is really really fucked up, and it was some of existentialism. I don't know if you can say that this art
Yeah.
direction. Um, it was really good. So I think this connection of like why is it so artistic and also why I liked it. I think that was pretty interesting. So this is one of my favorite cartoon makers or cartoonists. I don't know.
Yeah.
So other series, I'm a really a huge fan of South Park. I watched South Park from fifth grade, a little bit too young, I would say, but I'm a really big South Park fan. It's kind of well, I would say it would be cancelled if Trey Parker and Matt Stone wouldn't be uncancelable. Um, but South Park is really great. Other cartoons, BoJack Horseman, I didn't watch it
Mm.
completely, but I really enjoyed it. I don't like at all this kind of depressed vibe. I don't know. I think that just doesn't work with cartoons.
Mm.
Although it worked in Rick and Morty, kind of. Um, Also, there were cartoons like, of course, stuff like Naruto. I didn't watch that completely, but these are great. Also, other animes are great. I have to admit. Um, I watch a few. What else? Oh, mm, Family Guy, American Dad. These kind of shows are
Mm.
also cool.
So
Um,
what kind of animes have you been watching?
Okay, so I don't want to say like yeah. I can say like yeah. These are the best animes I ever made because I just watched too few of them. But I
Yeah.
watched a few. I was a great fan of Attack on Titan.
Mm.
It was a really good anime. I have to watch season 3 by the way. Um, Death Note was cool. I watched this one Death Parade. I thought it was pretty creative, but also a little bit weird.
Yeah, I think I've seen
Um,
that. Yeah.
yeah, it was with these kind of games, which
Yeah.
I don't know how I could describe it. It's just too weird. It was pretty cool. Then what else? Sword Art Online. I didn't watch that completely, but it was cool.
Yeah.
The idea was cool. What else? There was a few of these like one season animes which were cool. I think it was Charlotte and these others. I remember another one, Erased was it called? I think
Mm.
these were good. Yeah, these were the animes I really enjoyed. Also, Tokyo Ghoul was good. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you one cartoon that I've recently watched and loved is Midnight Gospel on Netflix. Have you heard of seen of that?
I heard of it. I've not seen it yet. I really want to watch more cartoons. It's a little bit embarrassing. I didn't watch like I watched I think more than the what do you call it average person, but I at the moment I don't get to watch cartoons at all because I'm just don't have time for it. But I really am looking forward to watch all these cartoons. I heard of it. It was like this. I'm not sure. Was
It's
with
quite
this?
it's quite strange. It's made by the same person who made Adventure Time. I can't think of his name now.
Yeah. It was. Hold on. No, I'm not sure.
I can't remember either.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit strange because he has a podcast, and basically each episode is just like a podcast, but each character's like animated. It's quite a strange concept, but the animation and everything behind it, I would suggest it's worth a watch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I also already see, many people are switching to animation right now because of the lockdown and this kind of stuff. Also saw that in Blacklist 7th season.
Yeah.
The last episodes were animated. If I right imagine it was in season 7, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also when we're talking about like other stuff like which gave inspiration, Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy and this kind of stuff, what I really think which would describe a lot of the relationship between Kairo and Crate is a little bit about Seth MacFarlane made these 2 movies. I think it's only movies, Ted and Ted 2. And I think the relation is pretty similar to them. So if that helps, it's a lot of like the Ted would be Cairo and Johnny would be Crate. Have you seen the Ted movies?
Yeah.
Great. These are good. I really like them. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they're pretty similar to them. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So they were pretty much all the questions I had. It sounds awesome, and I can't wait to see the clips and the episodes and everything like that. You've seemed to have grown a really big fan base on TikTok in such a short space of time. So one last question that I ask everyone is, what does success mean to you in life?
Success? Money. No, I'm just kidding. I would say, okay, I think everybody has their own definition. I would say for me, it's hard work that I think like I look back and see like, yeah, I've seen what I did and that's great. And also in general, I think also you could define it as if you look back and see what you've done and you say like, yeah, I would do that again. Just like that. I think that's success. What I would say.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the Get to Know podcast. It's been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure too.